Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the alignment tool in the Venue Builder. If you look to the bottom of the screen in the bottom tool strip, you'll see that we have three tabs here. One of them is the alignment tab. Just click on that and that'll bring the alignment options forward. The first thing you'll notice is everything's disabled. So what does this mean? This means that you have to have not one, but at least two objects selected in order to align something. So we can start by aligning some track pieces. So let's take this track, let's duplicate it, and let's offset it like so. Now what I want to do is I want to align these two tracks together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the first track. It doesn't have to be just two pieces, by the way. It can be as many pieces as you'd like to align. But we'll start small. I'll take the track that I want to align and then select the track that I want to align it to. The last object selected is always going to be the object that you're going to align to. Okay, so, and you'll know this because the manipulator will be on that particular object. Okay, so now I have to make a decision. How do I want to align this? Do I want to align it on which axes? The X, Y, or Z? Well, what I want to do is I want to bring this track to this track. I want to align it in the Y direction, the Y axis. I want it to go this way. So I'll click the Y, and then I'm presented with some icons. So what this is going to, well, why don't we just do this? Why don't we flip through them and I can show you what they do. Okay, the first one is aligning the minimum to the active minimum. This is the active. The last object is always the active. So if I click this, I aligned it to the minimum of this. It's confusing to say minimum, maximum. It makes sense if you really look at what it's doing. It's just going to the bounding box. But it's always easy just to flip through these. You know, you can have different effects by clicking through. This last one is the most commonly used one. Well, for me, I use it a lot. It's the bring to center. Since these tracks are all going to be at the same center, this can be anywhere I want. I don't have to worry about which one I'm going to align to. I just say I want it to be in the same center line as this. So I click and I choose the axis and I select it, and that'll bring it right there. Okay, so now I want to align this track piece right up along this edge of the active piece, the one with the manipulator. And if I look at the image, I see that the gray box and a red box. The gray box always represents the selected objects that are not the active ones. The red box is always the active object. So if I click this, it says I'm going to align the non-active to the active. So that should bring this right along here. So why don't we just click that? And there we go. It snaps it. It's a little confusing in the beginning, but once you start using these, you'll get a sense of what it's doing. And you can always undo if something goes awry, but it's pretty easy just to toggle through these and you'll see what they're going to do. Even if you're not sure and you click the wrong one, you can always click the other ones. One of them will get you where you want to be. And I'll show you an example of that. I might accidentally click the center, and now it's right on top of this object. And I don't want to have to unselect it and try to find the right one and move it. I'll just go through the other buttons, and I believe this is the correct one. And there you go, it'll place it. So it's okay if you don't hit the right one the first time around. You just cycle through them and they'll find their place. Okay, so that's a nice simple test here with the track pieces. Let's move on to stacking on the Z. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and uncheck my axes. I want to go ahead and duplicate another pillar. I hit Control D to duplicate. I can also duplicate by clicking the icon up here. So now I have 3. So what I can do now is I could say I want to take these 2 guys and just to make it really visible, I can move them in random places and still get them all to align by simply selecting the objects that I'm interested in aligning, and then at the end select the object I want them to align to. I want them to follow the same direction as the track. Well, that means that they have to move in the direction of the green arrow, which is the y-axis. You can always tell which axes, the y, x, or z, simply by looking at the world coordinate, and you can see that the green and the green here, this will tell you y. Also, down below under the axes, we color code them so they match the direction as well. So I want to move them both in the y-axis, and I want them to align with this. So I'll select the y-axis. I'll say go ahead and align to center. And that just brings them right in line along the center of the center line here. Okay, now I might want to stack them. To better see this, I'll go ahead and select one and then this one, and I'm just going to align this object to be right at the same height as the top of this object. So again, that's on the z-axis, the blue one. So I'll uncheck the y, I'll check the blue, and now I'm going to click on the min to max, this one. Okay, so that's right on top. I'm going to do the same to these 2. So I'll select the one that I want to move, and then I'm going to select the one I'm going to align it to, and I'm going to go ahead and align it on the Z again, and there we go. Now I can select these 2 objects, select this one, and now all I have to do is in the x-axis say align to center, and there you go. Again, it's pretty simple. You just have to get used to the icons, but after a while it'll be second nature. It's a very helpful tool, especially if you're creating racetracks or if you're creating stackable objects that you want to be exactly right on top of each other. That's the alignment tool. There you go. It's really handy.